All right. Oh, hold on just a second. Much better. All right. It has been a while since I did a video, but I had to move. Got a new job and moved to a new town. I'm now living in Eugene, Oregon, and loving it. This is a new ship I picked up. It's just a tier 3. For those of you who are new to the game, you're going to enjoy the tier 3 ships. And if you like battleships play, you're going to have an awful lot of fun with the Konig Albert. She's basically a damage sponge. She's very forgiving, and she can really lay the hurt in. Not at long range. You might get lucky with a few hits, but once you get in closer, this ship can really lay on the hurt. So I'm going to add a couple of flags here in case I get into ramming range, which sometimes happens, and some extra credit in battle. You'll notice a very strange turret arrangement on this ship. A couple of ships have that turret arrangement. You'll know it's weird when you see it. Let's go ahead and zip ahead in the video a bit. You all know this map. It's one of the first maps that you're introduced to. The enemy, if you spawn down where we did, will usually send a few ships over to the 9-10 line area and come down south. If you spawn up north, the enemy usually comes up that line. So you can see our team on the mini-map. All of these players obviously have played this map many times. They're going up there because they know that's typically where the enemy's going to come from. You see the turrets on my ship? Oh, interesting arrangement. You got 3 main down the main line, the center line of the ship, and then a couple off to the side, but they're not right across from each other. Anyway, if you look on the lower left of your screen, you can also get an idea of the turret layout. 41,300 is pretty good for hit points. And I've got AP loaded since we got cruisers coming in. I could go with high explosive, but with cruisers, this is probably a better bet. You're not going to bounce too many rounds if you're using AP and you're in this ship and you're going up against cruisers. Getting the aim right on such a narrow ship ain't so easy. But once again, we're at long range. There we go. Now if you look at the mini-map, you'll see that the enemy is pushing pretty hard over to the east side. So it's a good thing we're all there. Hey, I just landed an 8,300 damage hit. I really wanted... Okay, he sent torps. I gotta watch out for that. Alright, he's gone. I really wanted the kill on that one. So we knew we got torps coming, and I got on the rudder a little bit to help dodge them. There they are off to the left. And boom. Alright. First kill of the day. Now I had to turn around. If I had kept going in a straight line, I'd have hit the edge of the map. Battleship replays are a little bit slow, so it does take a while to get into the action. as you can see, we're pretty much keeping our distance and firing long range. That's going to change. We're going to get into a knife fight here before too long with the Wyoming, which is a higher tier battleship than I've got. And my aim is pretty far off. But I've only had this ship maybe 2-3 battles. So the enemy took out one of our guys, but we've taken down 3 of theirs, so we're doing pretty well. I'd like to get the kill on this guy. Don't think they're gonna give it to me though. Now if you look at the mini-map, just west of me we got 2 ships right there. One of them's coming at me and one of them's coming broadside. If you can shoot at a broadside ship, do it. Even if there's somebody a bit closer, because you can get a lot more damage if you hit a ship broadside than if they're coming nose on or leaving and you're shooting tail on. The dispersion, as you can see, is not too impressive. But sometimes the dispersion works really well. That is either a Nassau or an Albert. Alright, 11,000. 11,786. That was a good hit. Now if you look at the mini-map, there's an enemy to my west that's going to come around the island. He's going to be shooting at me. This guy's not. So I need to... Oh, that's a good shot. Right into the superstructure. I wish it had done more damage. But that enemy battleship is going to start shooting at me any second. Yeah, I've got problems coming. So I'm going to have to turn my attention away. I'm already on the rudder. Tactics are pretty much everything. Alright, that is a Wyoming. He is a tier 4. I am only a tier 3. He missed with that shot, but he can hurt me. So I got AP loaded. Broadside, that was a good hit. 6,308. Can't hit him now. Might as well go for this guy. Now you can see the dispersion is unimpressive. You can also see the shots bounce off. So we got a moment to go ahead and reload. Meanwhile, I'm going to queue up high explosive because I'm expecting that this Wyoming is going to turn after my first salvo. So, first a salvo of AP. Wait for my rear turret to clear the island. That was a glitch. Okay. Okay, that was about 10,000 damage. Now, high explosive is loading. It's got about 21 seconds. And he's not turning. So I guessed wrong. But he is on fire. He will burn down. Maybe I can set him on fire again. Here we go. Boom. Only 561. That was very close range. Landed a lot of hits and I only did 561 damage. I should have stuck with AP. But now he is turning. Meanwhile, this guy is very well angled to me. that Wyoming I was shooting at died. So high explosive is the way to go. And it's just basically this guy and the enemy carrier. We have lost a few ships. We pretty much have this battle in good hands. Even at this range, with him being nose on, you want to go high explosive. You want to burn him down. If you try hitting him with armor piercing, most of the shots are just going to bounce off of him. My secondaries are kicked in, doing some damage. I'm going to try and set the back of the ship on fire. And here we go. Boom. That took care of him. He also set me on fire, but I can put that out.
The ship is on fire.
If it were just one fire, I'd probably let it burn. But there weren't no other enemies around. Anyway, you can see how we did there. Sank 2. Didn't get much experience, but in Tier 3, I really don't want to expect a whole lot of experience. Maybe if you're going up against real players instead of bots. If you're going up against humans, you get a lot more experience. But be forewarned, humans fight their ships a heck of a lot differently than bots do. I mean, it's like night and day. I do have a couple videos showing you the differences and how to manage that. Anyway, we did get top score. Only 560 experience. Wow, that's top score. Well, let's see now. With the Wyoming, our high explosive shells, we landed 14 for 5,000 damage. The AP shells, we only landed 2 and did 2,700 damage. So if we had stuck with AP, we would have done a heck of a lot more damage. A lot more. The Freant, you can see what we did there. Only landed 2, but he was almost dead anyway. On this Wyoming, high explosive shells, we landed 8 and did hardly anything. And we landed AP shells and did a lot. Did a lot of damage there. So AP was definitely the way to go there too. And then we did some damage against the Phoenix and the Kawachi, which is actually a pretty tough cookie. And who hurt me? The Wyoming. Yeah. Okay. Credits. 560. Made a little bit of money on there. So let's take a closer look at how this thing is built. Give you an idea of why it performs the way it does. Here's the armor layout. I'm going to filter out everything except the Citadel. And you can see how low to the water that thing actually is. Not a lot of armor there. There'll be more when we put on the plating. Heck of a lot there. But it's so low on the water, it's going to be difficult to Citadel at close range. Long range? Yeah. On top of that, now we see some armor overlapping the Citadel. 250, 350. Oh, that's good. 200, etc. So Citadel has got some armor on it. On top of that, we've got another 10 millimeter. That's common. 350 in the conning tower, though. And then we throw on the plating, and there's a lot of different plating on this thing. The World of Warships modelers put a lot of time into it. An extra 25 millimeters down below. That's only 55 millimeters of armor down below, which isn't very much. Watch out for torpedoes. The guns are very heavily armored. So she's built pretty tough. Probably cannot take torpedoes very well. So be on the lookout for those. Survivability, she's got 41,300 hit points with the torpedo damage reduction of 21%. That's good. Main batteries, she's got 10 of the 305s. Reload time is 30 seconds, which is pretty common. You'll see that just about everywhere you go, whether it's tier 4 or tier 5. It starts to change when you get to 6, 7, and 8. The dispersion, 182 meters at max range, isn't that good. And you can see the rotation time is horrible on this thing. You pretty much have to turn the whole ship to get those turrets to go where they want. HE damage is mediocre compared to the AP damage, 3,400 on a good hit versus 8,300 on a good hit. But you got a good chance of starting a fire, 22% chance of starting a fire on each shell. So even though the damage delivered is less, if you put someone on fire and then they put it out, they can't put out the next one, not for a while. So it might be worthwhile to load HE shells a little more often. Firing range is 11.9 kilometers, and you can see the shell velocity there. They're almost identical. The secondaries, a little interesting there. You got 4 guns, each with 1 barrel at 88 millimeters with a 4-second reload. They don't do much damage, and a 4% chance of starting a fire with a 4-kilometer range. It's really, the secondaries aren't really all that impressive. And you've got further 8, 88 millimeters. The performance is about the same. And then you've got 14 150 millimeter guns. That's actually pretty impressive, but it has the same range, 4 kilometers. The 88 millimeter guns go 4 kilometers, and these things only go 4 kilometers. So bear in mind your secondaries you're gonna wonder where the heck they are. You're gonna wonder, what are these things doing? Do they even work? And then the moment the enemy comes to within 4 kilometers, all hell breaks loose. Now the AA is very unimpressive. You have 4 guns, 88 millimeters, 1 barrel, 4 guns, and they only have a 3-kilometer range. Damage per second 7 points. So don't expect too much from your AA guns. They really can't do much. If you got an enemy carrier out there, and you usually do, if they decide to come after you, you better hightail it over to a friendly cruiser. You can stay under their umbrella of protection. Maneuverability, she's a slug, 21 knots. That's a sight better than the tier 2 or the tier 1 battleships, but wait until you get up into the tier 5 battleships. They'll be doing much better. Turning circle radius is 600 meters. That's 1,800 feet about. That's 3 city blocks to turn this thing around. It takes a while. But with a rudder shift time of 12.1 seconds, which actually isn't too bad for a battleship, it makes it to where the ship is usable. You can turn with it. And you'll be using that to get your guns pointed where you want them to go. The maximum range of the guns was 11.9 kilometers. Enemy will see you at 11.2 unless you fire your gun. When you fire your gun, at least at this point in time with 6.9 build on the game, you become visible at the maximum range of your guns when you fire them. So if you have a detectability range by sea of only 4 kilometers, but you have 12-kilometer guns, hey, that's great. You can stealth fire. But the moment you fire your guns, Everybody knows where you are. For the modules, I picked up damage control system modification only because of the 5% risk of fire reduction. You are going to be put on fire if you buy this ship. The enemy will put you on fire. There's just no way around it. The ship is too slow and maneuvers too poorly. So anything to help put out the fires are better than stock. Just remember, once you put the fire out using the damage control party, that damage control party cannot be used for, I think it's 2 minutes. And in this game, 2 minutes is a long time. The other consumable that I upgraded was AA. The ship has horrible AA, but what I do have, I do not want to lose. That is why I went with secondary battery survivability is 100%. AA mounts 100%, which means that the AA guns and the secondaries cannot be destroyed. And that's just the way I just chose to go. You can go ahead and build the ship the way you want, not the way I do it, to match your style of play. The ship, on the whole, she's overpowered. She can lay in the hurt and take out ships bigger than her. She's just a little slow. But deal with it. Use that rudder. Use the islands to your advantage. Jump out from behind the islands and plug the enemy with lots of gunfire. Big holes. That's how to use this ship. And you'll get a little bit of money and a little bit of experience, and then you can move onwards and upwards to better things, or just keep this thing around because it's a lot of fun. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and have fun.